Are you frustrated? Don't freak out. Let's go. Hey there, Enterprisers, what's good? It's Jason Lago here again with Always Enterprise. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how you cannot freak out in moments of frustration. That's right, how to not freak out in moments of frustration. In business as well as in life, we know that we're gonna become frustrated at least one time or another. And especially in the field of entrepreneurship, when you're trying to work and trying to build your business, the truth of the matter is frustration is already on its way to you, and it's gonna come your way many different times and many different instances in your life. And so with that said, I wanna go ahead and preface this whole talk by letting you know that it's coming and there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Also with that said though, I wanna remind you that it doesn't have to be a situation where you freak out, you lose your cool, and you allow this to defeat you, okay? Being frustrated is natural and it's absolutely okay. Let's just make sure that we have ways to help us around this, and more importantly, how to navigate through it so that we can move forward and continue to build our business and become successful in our endeavor. In this video, I want to go ahead and show you 5 simple ways that you can do just that. Let's get started. Number 1, acknowledge the instance. Acknowledge the instance. Now, if you're sitting there and you're in front of your computer and you're trying to make something happen and you find yourself in a rut where you're absolutely frustrated with what's going on, whether it's tech issues, things just not working right, maybe it's a client or a prospect that has got you down in the dumps, or maybe an associate or a vendor or some other dealing that is just not going your way, it's natural for you to feel frustrated. And so what I want you to do is just acknowledge exactly what it is that is causing it. Is it one of those things that I just mentioned? Is it a combination? Obviously, it could be also something that just triggers you to come to this point where you're absolutely frustrated and when you want to throw your phone or your laptop out the window. Now, obviously, don't do that, but I think it's fair to say that when this happens, the worst thing that you can do is just trying to power through it and try to deal with it or try to ignore it, okay? Really become aware of what's causing this frustration. Awareness, like anything else, is the first step to determining what's best for you and how to go about dealing with this. Become aware and acknowledge the instance. Number 2, place trust in your potential. Place trust in your potential. Now, so often in business, we hear this thing about us trusting the process. And it's true, you definitely should trust the process. But more importantly than trusting the process is to never lose faith or trust in your own potential. The fact that you're frustrated right now and that you're trying to do something that just doesn't seem to click, just doesn't seem to work, do not accept this as a means of the world telling you, right, or as a means of you feeling that you're not meant to do this, that you're not meant to be successful, that you don't have what it takes to make this happen, okay? You absolutely do have what it takes. So trust in your potential and understand that even though it's gonna take you a little bit, you definitely are still on your way, right? Even though you're not where you want to be, you're well on your way, you're just not there yet. Trust in your potential and realize that the best days are still ahead of you. Number 3, live next to your limits. Live next to your limits, okay? I wanted to focus at least one point on the idea of knowing your own limitations, because like anybody else, whether you're me or even other people who are just successful in other forms of business, we all come into this thing trying to believe or wanting to believe that we're good at everything. We want to believe that we can do absolutely everything, that we can wear every hat, that we can knock everything out of the park, that we can work and lead every department, okay? But the truth of the matter is that's just not the case. There are things that you're just not good at. There are things that you're just not naturally inclined to. And so you need to go ahead and become aware of what those limitations are. All right. For me, for instance, for the longest time, I never thought that I would be on video. All right. I was more the person who wanted to be strategic and methodical behind the scenes, didn't want to really become a talking head or a face of a company or become the avatar or whatever you want to call it. But yet here I am, right? And I have a lot of good feedback from everyone in my community, everyone who follows me, and many of my clients and prospects and long-term business associates who continue to tell me, thank you, and we're really appreciative of the things that you do and the things that you put out into the marketplace. It's very, very humbling and very, very rewarding. And I certainly, would not come to this position if I didn't know what I was good at and what I wasn't good at, and then in so doing, I found myself being thrusted into a different direction, which is why now I'm here and I'm doing this, right? But there are things that you are not good at. Okay, and with that said, when you live next to your limits are, you can do a couple things. First of all, you're aware of it. okay, so that you don't lie to yourself. But then you also know the things that you need to work on and the things that you need to receive help on, right? And the places where you can reach out for assistance and for coaching and for expertise. And that is why I'm now in front of the camera, because when I realized that I wasn't good at it, but that I couldn't do it as well as I wanted to, or never really wanted to do it, right? It allowed me the chance to zone in on it, develop some skills on it, and now here I am doing it, and now I'm receiving a lot of good feedback about it, and I'm reaching a lot of people, right? What more could you be able to accomplish if you lived next to your limitations? I don't know. I invite you to try it out. Live next to your limits. Number 4, adjust your strategy accordingly. Adjust your strategy accordingly. Okay, again, I mentioned in the first point that one of the worst things you can do is just try to power through a frustration, right? If you're sitting there in a funk or in a rut, the worst thing that you can do is just try to force this thing to happen. It might make sense for you to adjust your strategy. So for instance, you might think that the way for you to do things is with, one type of a funnel or one type of a sales or marketing ploy, when in truth it could be something else. Maybe it's the modality of the way that you're putting your content out there. Maybe it's the style in which you're closing, the style in which you're presenting your sales presentation. I don't know, but it might make sense for you to adjust it. All right, so becoming aware of what's going on, right? That will help you understand the steps for you to take. And in this case, the exact step to take is a total adjustment. Maybe it's a complete 180 of what you're doing. As long as it helps you ultimately end up where you need to go, then what's the harm in it? But until you're aware, you really don't know what could be next for you. So I invite you to try this out and understand that there is more than one way to skin a cat. That's definitely true in business. The strategy that you want to pursue versus the strategy that you hear is working well from others that you might look up to, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you or could or should work for you. Find your own path in business. That's kind of why we call it your own business, and that's kind of why the freedom exists for you. But the truth of the matter is, again, you will have to adjust accordingly. So be aware, adjust your strategy, and you might find out that this actually is going to be better for you in the long term. Number 5, and finally, for goodness sake, calm down. Okay, for goodness sake, calm down, right? It kind of goes without saying, and maybe I should have made this the first point, but I like to drive attention towards awareness before I kind of give you the obvious thing in the room here, which is to calm down, right? Sometimes being calm or getting calm is a lot easier to do when you find yourself in a state of awareness, when you have enlightenment, when you realize what's going on. It's then easier for you to go ahead and calm down, as it were. And all I'm telling you to do is just calm down, right? I'm not going to take the time to explain many different things that you can do to calm down. Just do whatever it takes. At the very least, step away from your workstation, right? Step away from the situation that is causing extreme frustration to the point where you're stuck and not moving forward, not making progress in your business. Obviously, there's other things that you can do if you step away. You can do things like drink water, right? You can do things like get some fresh air, go for a walk, maybe work out, right? Break a sweat, get those toxins and the frustrations out. Go ahead and hit the heavy bag for a little bit, right? Or do something that you enjoy, right? Go ahead and take a power nap. Talk to your, have a play date with your kids. Do something. Just learn to reset and to recenter, and for goodness sake, calm down. There you have it, my friends. Again, this is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I trust this was helpful to you. Let me invite you to drop a comment below and let me know what is the best thing that you find works for you when you're frustrated in building your own business. Also, make sure you give me a like and a comment and a subscribe. That's the most important thing. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss out on any more hot new content that I got coming down the pipe just for you. This is Jason Ligo with Always Enterprise. I'll see you next time. Take care.